Who is Peter the Great? Not that Peter the Great, the other Peter the Great. Standing at 6'7", he appears to be a great leader, but was he actually a great leader? I'll be exploring this in Peter the Great, great leader or greatest leader ever. Before the birth of Peter, Russia was expanding into a great land empire. After the fall of the Mongol Empire, Russia was given room to rule itself. Due to its connections to the Byzantine Empire, its leaders believed Russia to be the Third Rome. Ivan III was named Tsar or Caesar, and Russia began to expand. However, despite its landmass, Russia was still primitive to their European counterparts and everyone else in the known world. They were economically, wheat is good. Technologically, look at my new invention. It's a fire on a stick. And last, culturally.
Oh, this vodka looks good. Hey, why does it look yellow? Guess I peed in it? You son of...
While Russia has great potential of becoming a great empire, they still need a leader to reform its structure. And this is where Peter the Great comes in. Peter was born in June 1672 in Moscow on the walls of the Kremlin. He was the son of Alexis I and Natalia. When Peter was 10, Fyodor III, the ruling Tsar, died and he had no successor.
Although Ivan's supposed to be the next Tsar in charge, his sickness makes him unable to rule. That's why we are naming you, Peter, as the new Tsar of Russia,
with your mom as your regent.
Hold on a second.
Dun dun dun! Sophia, why are you here?
I find your decision flawed and demand change. We are not changing our minds. Then prepare revolution then.
After a short period of bloodshed, the civil war ended when Sophia took over. It was then decided by the Russian nobles to make Ivan and Peter co-czars, while Sophia their regent. In 1689, Peter, for years being controlled by his sister, has plans to take over what is his, and that is the throne to Russia.
Sophia, I'm taking back my throne. I'm never going to give back the throne. Besides, what are you going to do about it? Okay. If you won't play that way, I have to kill you. Okay, take back the throne. I don't care. That was easy.
Peter succeeded in its overthrow. However, he was still the co-czar of his brother, and his mother did everything. In 1694, his mother died, and in 1696, his brother died, leaving Peter as the sole czar leader of Russia. During 1695, Peter sets his sights on Azov, and thus declares war on the Ottoman Empire. In 1696, he finally achieves his goal of gaining the seaport, and thus allows him to explore Russia's maritime capacity. In 1697, Peter traveled to Europe, as called the Great Assembly, to recruit European nations to go against the Ottoman Empire.
We need to unite against the Ottoman threat. If we don't stop them, we'll be screwed. Currently, we, the Frenchies, are allies to them. And we Austrians, we demand peace in the East.
Did you hear that King Charles doesn't have a son, and thus has no successor?
Dang it.
With the great embassy being a complete failure in gaining allies, Peter got upset.
My life is miserable.
However, it wasn't a complete failure.
It wasn't?
Over the course of 16 months, Peter the Great became fascinated with the West.
That is cool jewelry. Look at that painting. Oh my gosh. What is that?
A stew, you noob. The most amazing thing that Peter saw, however, was the ships in Denmark. He learned a lot from shipbuilding in Denmark.
Wow, that is awesome.
When Peter returned in 1698, he wanted to tell his discoveries and wanted Russia to westernize. He did anything from forcing his nobles to dress in European clothes to even implementing beer taxes to westernize Russia. In 1700, Peter had his sights on Sweden. If Russia can control it, they have access to the Baltic Sea, which means more Western trade. Peter declares war on Sweden, thus beginning the Great Northern War. Peter underestimates King Charles VII at the Battle of Narva and loses. This temporarily stalls Peter's ambitions. Then in 1708, the Swedes are on the offensive. However, the Swedish advance is stalled at the Battle of Lasagna. Then in 1709, King Charles loses the Battle of Poltava, and thus turns the tide of the war. Peter continues his charge to the Baltic Sea until 1727, when he signs the Treaty of Nassau, which Peter achieves his goal of gaining his window to the west. During his later years, he continued to expand the central government. He dies in January 28, 1725, from gangrene in his bladder. He was buried in the city he founded in 1703, St. Petersburg. His ideas lived on, however. Future Russian tsars, like Catherine the Great, expanded the landmass, central government, and westernization policies. His policies led Russia into becoming a world power. Isn't that great for a person?
Нашим дедам,